Now, during our session this morning, I would like to, as usual, remind you to have a pure motivation. The pure motivation should be the motivation of bodhicitta, in fact, the motivation of relative bodhicitta. At times when you're listening to the Dharma, or at times when you're practicing the Dharma, or actually at all times and in all situations, it's important that our attitude be imbued with relative bodhicitta. So therefore, I'd like to ask you to remind yourselves to listen to the motivation of relative bodhicitta. Now, first of all, I'd like to speak more about the natures of the Four Noble Truths, and we have been discussing the truth of the path. As I mentioned yesterday, there is the training in superior discipline, the training in superior samadhi, and the training in superior prajna. There are these three aspects. And as I described first, we have to have the training in superior discipline. Then once we have that training in superior discipline, then we need to engage in listening and contemplating. And then eventually we begin the stages of meditation. And so meditation is considered very important, and the way that we engage in meditation, there are basically two different ways that we engage in meditation. We can do shamatha meditation and we can do insight meditation. So yesterday I explained the shamatha meditation, the methods of the common methods, and then the particular methods of how we must meditate in the Mahayana shamatha. So I described those yesterday. And today I would like to speak about the methods for meditating on insight. Now, in the common vehicles, as we go through the stages, first we practice the methods of shamatha meditation. Then once we develop the stable aspect of the mind, then gradually we can begin developing the prajna that comes from insight meditation. As this is described, it happens over the course of the different paths. As it is said, we have the path of accumulation, the path of joining, and the paths of the clear realization of the truth. So the path of accumulation, the path of joining, and the paths of the clear realization of the truth. During the period of the path of accumulation, we meditate upon the insight meditation is on the four foundations of mindfulness. So we first develop the stability of mind through, and when we have really familiarized ourselves or accustomed ourselves to the samadhi of shamatha meditation, and our shamatha is really stable, then we can develop the prajna that comes from insight meditation. And the way we do this is through practicing the foundation of mindfulness of body, the foundation of mindfulness of feelings, the foundation of mindfulness of mind, and the foundation of mindfulness of dharmas. And so these are the four foundations of mindfulness, and we practice these as a way to come to recognize the way that the four truths are. Now, when we are engaging in listening and contemplating, we only use our prajna. But when we're doing samadhi, then we don't only use prajna. We use prajna and mindfulness in conjunction. And so for that reason, we have the foundation of mindfulness of body, where we think about the nature of what the body is like. We have the foundation of mindfulness of feelings, where we think about pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral feelings, so that we don't have any attachment to those feelings. We don't have any attachment to the body either. We then meditate upon the mindfulness of the foundation of mindfulness of mind, and the foundation of mindfulness of dharma, so that we can see that so that we can understand all phenomena are selfless. And so this is the meditation in the path of accumulation on the four foundations of mindfulness. Then, as our meditation moves up a level, then we come to the path of joining. And during the path of joining, the meditation is on the 16 aspects of the Four Noble Truths. So there are these 16 different aspects of the Four Noble Truths, but among the 16 aspects of the Four Noble Truths, it is the 4 aspects of the truth of suffering that are considered the most important. And these four aspects of the truth of suffering are impermanence, suffering, empty, and selfless. And so as we meditate upon the 16 aspects of the Four Noble Truths, then at first there is warmth. And warmth means that there is some stability in our mind, some resting, aspect of resting. There is some clarity in the mind. As that increases and improves, we come to the peak. And the particular virtue of the peak is that, as it is said, from the peak the roots will not be severed. And so this means that the roots of virtue cannot be severed from the peak onwards. And so this is called the second stage of the path of joining, the peak. As the peak increases, then we achieve forbearance. And the particular quality of the forbearance is that from forbearance you will not fall into the lower realms. And so once you have achieved this stage, you will not ever again fall into the lower realms of the hells, the hungry ghosts, or the animals. And then following that, as that increases, we achieve the path of the Supreme Worldly Dharma. So the proper meditation of the Supreme Worldly Dharma is the good samadhi that is the greatest of all defiled samadhis. And so this is the samadhi that is the supreme of worldly dharmas. And so in this way, as ordinary individuals, we progress through the paths of accumulation and seeing. We go through these in stages until we can engage in the methods to see the nature of the Dharmata directly. Now, for the methods of the meditation in the Mahayana, there are two types. There's the vast path of the sutras, and there's the profound path of mantra. And when we practice these, it is best for us to practice the vast path of the sutras and the profound path of the tantras in alternation. This is what is called the union of the pith instructions, and doing this is a superior way to practice. So when we practice in this way, well, what do we practice? Well, in terms of the vast path of the sutras, we primarily meditate on bodhicitta. And in bodhicitta, there is relative and ultimate bodhicitta. There are these two types. So relative bodhicitta is said from the time of the path of accumulation. It is said that bodhicitta, relative bodhicitta, should be stable like the earth. It should be like our intentions, our wishes should be like the earth. And so when we first enter the path of joining, we have faith and devotion in the Dharma. We have love and compassion for sentient beings. We have bodhicitta, and this should be stable and good. And if it is, then it is like the earth. If our bodhicitta is not stable, then it doesn't provide a good basis, a ground for us. We aren't able to get ground under it. And so therefore, when we have the real stable wish and intention, then this is said to be like the earth. Because in general, if we ask for an example of what's the most stable thing in the world, we're going to say the earth. Of course, these days there are a lot of earthquakes, and what to do about that, but in general we'd say that the earth is the most stable thing, and it's often said that someone is as stable as the earth. And so when our wish is unshakable, when it's not like sometimes there and sometimes not, but when it is really stable and unshakable, that is what is said to be a wish that is like the earth. And this is what we have from the time of the lesser path of accumulation. Now, during the intermediate stage of the path of accumulation, what is said is that our intention should be like gold. So gold, again, is an example of being unchanging. When you change gold, its shape may change, but its color and its essence do not change. And in the same way, our pure mind, our pure motivation should be like gold and unchanging and stable. And so what is the aid for our practice during the intermediate path of accumulation is the bodhicitta that is like gold. And then as our meditation grows stronger and stronger, bodhicitta grows stronger and stronger, it's said that it is the pure intention that is like the waxing moon. And so as we go through the work at the methods to increase our bodhicitta, then gradually the pure intention becomes like the waxing moon. It's like on the third day of the lunar month, you've got a crescent, and it's slightly larger on the fourth day, it's slightly larger the next day, and so forth. The waxing moon is always growing larger. And in the same way, we need to always be able to increase our bodhicitta. So it is like the waxing moon. And this is how we practice bodhicitta during the phase of the greater path of accumulation. And then when we come to the path of training, at the path of training we begin to have a conceptual meditation. And so at this point our bodhicitta is said to be the changing like the fire. So what fire does is it burns all things. And in the same way, our bodhicitta and our meditation at that point are able to attenuate and suppress all of the afflictions that need to be eliminated. And so, therefore, it is the fire-like bodhicitta. And so, as our samadhi strengthens, then all of the afflictions and bad thoughts that need to be eliminated are suppressed and attenuated. And so, this is the example for bodhicitta being like a fire. So these are the methods for ordinary individuals to meditate on relative bodhicitta. To meditate on the ultimate bodhicitta, we meditate that all phenomena are empty and unborn. And so in order that we will be able to eliminate everything that needs to be eliminated and achieve everything that needs to be gained, we need to meditate upon the profound emptiness of the Dharma expanse. Now in the vast path of the sutras, we primarily meditate upon this by taking inference as the path. In the profound path of the Tantras, we take perception as the path. So there's a difference between these two. When we are taking inference as the path, then we are logically examining and investigating all phenomena. Especially we examine external phenomena. The reason is because we ordinary individuals have a lot of clinging to external phenomena as being substantially existent, as existing as things. Because of this, as being real. And because of this, we have a lot of fixation on them. And so in order to avert that, or to block that fixation, we meditate upon all phenomena as being empty and selfless. And so this meditation is very important. And so we first do this through logically. We logically examine and prove that all phenomena are emptiness. When we've proven that through logic, then we develop certainty that we know that they're emptiness. Because of that knowledge, we then develop certainty in that. And by doing that, we are then able to block our fixation on them, and we need to meditate upon this. So this is taking the inference as the path. And the method for meditating upon this are the logics of the middle way. There's the logic of being free of being neither single nor multiple, the logic of interdependence, and so forth. There are the 5 great logics. And among these, the most easy to understand is the logic of great interdependence. And this means that basically everything is just projected, one thing based upon another in relation to each other. They are not actually established in reality. And so normally when I explain this, what I do is I take 2 incense sticks, one long and one short, and I use these to show that the long and the short are just labels that we give them, but they're actually empty of essence. Another logic we can use is the logic of being neither single nor multiple. And I usually teach this one by using the example of my hand, and we can examine our hands and see that it's not a single thing, that there's no single there, that there's a hand there. And that in this way we understand that the body and the hand, which we cling to as being substantially existent, as being real, do not actually exist in truth. So I've done these many times. You've probably seen it all many times, and I don't think there's much need for me to do it today. At any rate, when we practice taking inference as the path, then we can develop certainty that all phenomena are empty. And then through that certainty, we develop conviction that everything's empty, and then we meditate on the basis of that conviction. And that is the vast path of the sutras for meditating upon ultimate bodhicitta.
Nang sempre calcio nang gunne tela na son long de tap de wa yore candide se na nang sempre la tanda pa la croa tuma me bane dala to ke ba la sen ne lu de la hiro de yo ma ne sempre candide de yo ma ne sempre casite che non va da de ma ko canang de hiro si nyon yo ma re la da tanda son ji tem de ka ta ten ju Nitejim to tomo chebar jin tomo lama tombe tomo la sopa la tene mote untu tela nang sen la ka cheta ma imba ka nang do ta ne sen je ne dong tela ya bu je ta na sen de mune mu pur chut de ba mi ma re la mu pur ma de tomba tong jong je re se na tomba tong jong yo ma re ta ta da ja che wa do e nong do la ya ni ka re song yo re se na 타이제 프로파지 동타와 니 예바 마이 바도 메바 마이 바 통통 성도 주바도 사통 성도 주바라 수바 성료와레라 사통 성도 주바도 통통 성도 주바데조 리피에트 구기와레베스나 리피에트 구기와마레 남센데 모하타나 센데 모데 무포르트 데바토야 요마레라 티무포르트 데바데 토야 메바데 Chutanji tombayin sumbate tela tene ngi hijibartin jewata tela tene montevi wala tomba te ya tene tomba tonjon revese na tomba tonjon mare tela salmo mugo tonji hi ton sal tatende yungu wala la jotsi ticherna sende ne de rangin ke soju magba ripi taji magba tene semke yapote yin son soju magba Dupote onge tone toba magoba koran mo de kare imbate tawa ha tene chuni genelu to chuni genelu de la ti chuni genelu de la seni genelu de tane seni genelu mo la mote ne de gomna ni tato kenya mo bate ti ponge ore hizi de vai na ti ponge ore tato trova con tanti tempo con na ti tobe ore Tatiela tu care guviore, se non cosa sono più presente guviore, passano per tabacci guviore, la tieta lente to, quando tu tenta sono più presenti, lente to, donna, tiela tende trabato tanto tempo con guviore.
Now, when you do the practices of the vast paths of the sutras and examining logically through taking inferences of path, is it clear and stable? It is very clear and stable. It is good. We develop certainty. And when you meditate on the basis of certainty, it is very stable. But in terms of the paths, there are profound paths and there are paths that are not profound. This is a path that is not profound. So the profound path is the path of the secret mantra Vajrayana. This is the path of taking perception as the path. It's looking directly at the nature of things, recognizing the nature of the Dharmata directly. And so we have two things we can look at. We can look at the external things. We can look at internal mind. Here we do not make the external things so important. Instead, it is the internal mind that is important. The reason for this is that when we perform actions or karma, what determines whether they're virtuous or unvirtuous really comes down to, fundamentally, it comes down to our mind. And with afflictions, what do they depend on? They fundamentally depend upon our mind. And achieving, for achieving the ultimate state of liberation and omniscience, what does this depend on? It primarily depends upon our mind. And so for that reason, we consider the internal mind to be more important than the external experiences. And so we look directly at the nature of the mind to see it as it is. Now the reason, but we have not, up to this point, we have not seen it as it is. And the reason for this is that from beginningless samsara up to now, we have not seen the nature of the mind. We have not looked at the nature of the mind. Instead, we have been looking outside at external things, and so we have never actually seen the nature of their minds. But because of the words of the Buddha, the words of the treatises, the great instructions, and the instructions of the Guru, what we learn is that we, instead of directing our attention outwards, we need to direct our attention inwards and look at the nature of our own mind. When we look at it, we see that it can't be established as a thing. It is emptiness, but is it mere blank emptiness? It is not. And so in the vast path of the sutras, the way this is explained is as being free of the 4 extremes and the 8 complications. It's not something, it's not nothing. It's what we call the union of appearance and emptiness, or the union of clarity and emptiness. Now, is this union of clarity and emptiness, the union of appearance and emptiness, something that we need to prove logically? It's not. All we need to do is look at the nature of the mind. When we look at the nature of the mind, you see that it isn't established as anything. And when we see that, then we have the recognition, everything, all phenomena are empty. And from that we develop the certainty, and from that certainty then we really come to really realize and recognize this. So is the emptiness of the mind just a mere blank emptiness? It's not. The mind also has a clear essence. It is able to know all phenomena, able to see all phenomena, all phenomena are clear in it. But its nature is something that we don't need to change. We just need to experience it as it is. We don't need to think, this is what the nature of the mind is like. I need to make it into something good. We don't need to have the suspicion that maybe it's not good, maybe I need to change it somehow. We just look at it as it is, and by doing this we are able to see the Dharma nature, which we can call the essence of the nature of mind. And we are able to recognize this. And when we do this, we will be able to eliminate all of the cognitive obscurations. We'll be able to eliminate all of the afflictions. We'll be able to develop all of the qualities that come from the seeing the nature as it is. And as an aid for this, we also need to meditate upon relative bodhicitta and develop superior pure intention. And so it is in this way, meditating upon the relative and ultimate bodhicitta together, that we will be able to achieve the result of liberation and omniscience. So we have the meditation, the vast paths of the sutras, following the logics of the middle way, the instructions from the Prajnaparamita, and meditating on the basis of these. And then there is the profound path of the mantra, which is meditating upon the nature of the mind. So with the methods, is there a difference between the methods? Of course, there is a method of the difference in the methods, but the experience, the actual experience that they both lead to is the same. Whether you call it the Dharma nature, whether you call it the nature of mind, the mind essence, it is realization of the nature of all phenomena. So in actuality, it is the same. So for that reason, when we look at the nature of the mind, we practice taking perception as the path. Now, what is the method for doing this? Well, the methods, when we are following the instructions of Mahamudra, the first is to look at the mind in stillness. So what this means is that first we rest the mind in shamatha meditation. And when we're resting in meditation, what is the feeling that comes? We have the feeling, oh, my mind's resting. Or maybe we have the feeling, my mind's not resting. So if we just have that feeling, then that's mere shamatha meditation. But if we want to change this into the nature of insight meditation, then when you have the feeling, I'm resting, then you need to look. Who is resting? What is resting? If you don't do this logically, instead you just actually look directly at it. You see, well, where does it go? What does the mind like? Where is it staying? What is it doing? And so in this way, when you are working at the methods of the mind to make the mind resting, and it rests, and you have that feeling that the mind is resting, then you look, well, what is the nature of the rester, the person, the one who's resting? Where is it resting? What place is it resting? What is the feeling of it resting? When you look at the place that is resting, you can't find a location where the mind is resting. It's not established as anything. When you look at the rester, the one who's resting, then it's not established as anything either. Even though these are not established as anything, does that mean that the clear aspect of the mind disappears? It doesn't mean that. It's still present. And so you look at this and investigate it in this way. And this is called looking at the mind in stillness. Following that, we do the practices of looking at the mind in movement and looking at the mind and appearances. But I think that that's enough for today. We'll leave it here with looking at the mind in stillness. And instead, I would like to speak about a few lines from the song by Khenpo Gangashar.
타동 타와데 추던제 동이 임바도 추지 연제랑 임바데 니자발라마 공동베가 특제 공사모 동보로 로제 견나야 다데 타상 대도군도 캬리오와레 주니 제네로 대제다와 임도 세요와레 세니 제네로 대요 제다와 임도 세요와레 혼지 동이 제노발라 캬리오와레 주던제라 저이메 바로 나요와레 레데 이나야 틴체바 포송소보 데모네 세와 포송소보 예바템바레.
Now this song is in the form of a supplication, and so to continue from where we left off yesterday on page 6, it begins with a 7-branch offerings, and so the 7 branches are prostration, offering, confession, and so forth. And these are a great method to gather the accumulation of merit. But when we use the 7 branches as a method to accumulate merit, there are 2 ways we can do it. We can do it based upon, or we can do it by way of external things, or we can do it by way of our internal samadhi meditation. So here it is given not in terms of gathering merit through external things, but instead it is doing the 7 branches in terms of the internal meditation. And so in this way, the first stanza, the first 4 lines, are the prostration. The first line reads, although all phenomena are primordially contained as one taste in the round expanse of realization free of extremes. And so here, when we think about the great qualities of the gurus, the qualities of the gurus are perfect wisdom, perfect love, and perfect power. These are the 3 qualities. Now, the perfect wisdom, this means the knowing the nature of all things as they are, knowing emptiness, and knowing and the knowledge of the multiplicity of all phenomena, knowing the way that all things appear. And so this is the great knowledge or wisdom of the gurus. And this knowledge is knowing that all phenomena are primordial contained as one taste. The primordial, all phenomena from the very beginning are free of all extremes. They are all emptiness. They are by nature the dharma expanse or dharma dhatu. And this is something that the 2 root gurus have realized within the round expanse of realization free of extremes. So the round expanse means that it contains all phenomena. There are no phenomena that are not included in the dharma nature, the nature of the mind. They can, the 2 gurus are able to see this, and they see the empty aspect of them all, and they have no fixation or clinging to any of them. Yet at the same time as they have this perfect wisdom, they also have perfect loving kindness. And so the first line teaches the perfect wisdom, and the second line teaches the perfect compassion. And so even though they have the complete knowledge of the Buddha nature, at the same time they still regard all sentient beings with great compassion. As it says here, the clouds of compassion's natural radiance and great love, distinct in their variety, gather in fullness. And so they have great love and compassion for all sentient beings. So the analogy, or the comparison that is made here is that the perfect wisdom is like the sky, and the perfect compassion is like the clouds. And these both come together. They have both the natural radiance and great love. They come together. And so this line is teaching how they have the perfect compassion.
Nupa Pusam Sopa the Karate Barisena, the Nichimba of Seva Yonaya, Nupa Mena, Pena, Ma Lodam, Pochucher Watabo, Tatewa Timbo Amate, Lapa Mebate, Yena, Puguti Chuk Kursuma, Seva Yorvesena, Seva Yoride, Yonara, Lapa Yomare, the chapter to the Nupa Yomare, Tendra Rivesena, Tendra Mare, Nupa Pusam Sopa Yore. Nipa Pusam Sopa Yebi sort of second Basumbi Gitene, Tale, Yindro, Tanke, Pondro, Tuji, Treasure, Tene, Sentin Tanki La, Grana, Grandorje, Tune, Tuji, Treasure, Tuji La Tene, Chuchi Chaba Padne, Tuji Chaba Tiumbe, Tala Kebigone, Tenaviore, Tatig, Chuchi Chaba Pala Tene, Sentin Tomale, Chaptoviore.
Now the first two lines teach the perfect wisdom and the perfect love, and then the third line teaches perfect ability or perfect power. And so do the gurus have this perfect power? If you have the perfect wisdom and the perfect compassion, but if you don't have any power, then you're sort of like a mother who has no arms, whose child is being carried away by a flood. Does this armless mother who's watching her child be carried away, does she have love and compassion? She does, but she has no hands. She has no arms. She doesn't have the ability to rescue her child. And so are the gurus like this? They are not. They have the perfect power, and this is described in the third line. With limitless skillful means, you shower the soft rain of your compassion on all and tame whoever needs to be tamed. And so they shower the rain of Dharma upon all sentient beings, wherever there are sentient beings who need to be tamed, whoever they may be. They shower the rain of Dharma by teaching the Dharma. And so by teaching the Dharma, then they have the limitless skillful means for teaching this and showering the soft rain of the teachings on all sentient beings. And by teaching the Dharma, then sentient beings will be able to be protected from suffering. And so in this way, this is the perfect power.
Younger number ni bote, dan chiti bodong, younger control number nina, then Chatsaway, Chatsar to be using the candidates and a theatre, chiti Nusubji, and into the Malatine, number two, Rogaras, Tachitanga, Ishina, the Java Regna, you are a Latino, number one, Uji, Train, Jamonsu in Betsana. Number no the Rogaram Trubika, Jotter Tempa de Ninjanga concluded Taida, John Chiti Umbonobani, in Vitala Chasaway, Ati John Chiti Umboton, Jonga concluded Nipote, and Khenpo Concher Capsule, you are with, you are married. Ten number choke to number you are a lot. Choke to go to 10 number more. Tiba in the la, one, Johnson, the body, Tatombo Yama, then Johnson.
So who is it who has these qualities of perfect wisdom, love, and power? It is the two Jamgans. I prostrate to the two Jamgans. So these are Jamgan Khense Wangpo and Jamgan Lodutai. So I prostrate to the two Jamgans. So what is the reason for prostrating to them? It is because they have these qualities of wisdom, love, and power. So they are like the display of Vajra. So among the five Buddhas who were embodiments of the five wisdom, it is Vajra who is the embodiment of the Dharma Dhatu wisdom. So he is the display of Vajra who has the body of wisdom. And so in this way, it is like their displays or like their emanations of them. And so for this reason, he prostrates to the two Jamgans, Jamgan Kondro Lodur Thaya and Jamgan Khense Wangpo. Now, Jamgyang Khyentse Wangpo and Jamgyang Lodar Taib, were they still alive at the time of Khenpo Gangashar? They were not, but their Supreme Nirmanakayas, their reincarnations, were alive at that time. And so, realizing that they're the same in essence, Khenpo Gangashar prostrates to them. And so in this way, in terms of these 7 branches, this is the first branch, the branch of prostration. So the second branch is the branch of offering, and here it is not an offering of external things, but an offering of internal samadhi. So what is being offered here? It is the experience of seeing the nature of the mind as it is. All the riches of the billion-fold universe cannot compare to the jewel of stainless Buddha essence. The nature that gives the sublime light that is everything desired dispels the darkness of existence upon merely on being seen. So so what is this seeing, the experience of seeing the nature of the mind like? It has the perfect power. Just merely seeing the nature of the mind is able to eliminate all of the darkness of ignorance. Just seeing this has the capacity to eliminate the ignorance that is the cause of the wandering in the places of the 3 realms of samsara. And so by seeing this, we are able to eliminate all of the discards that need to be eliminated. And in doing this, this is the sublime light that gives everything desired. And so what the everything desired means the ultimate result. So this is giving the sublime light of all that we desire. So because seeing the nature of the mind as it is has the power to grant us everything that we wish, it has the power to bring us the great happiness, the ultimate result, then just merely seeing it is like giving the sublime light. And so in this way, the nature of seeing the nature of the mind has this perfect power.
Tabana Hiraki Gundo, then Kaki Gombi or Kaki Gondi Della, the Nitron Kivala, so by Yungi or Tedi Bala, the Jutin Kano, the Jungi or Lucy Gona, Tombani, Tombani Mahimba, Tombani, Sonny, Luke, Zuni, Gombama, Gombati, Lucy Gondi, Janela, Tadela, Egypt, and Libro, you are Tadi Egypt, Cemetery, Maliba, Rangi Super Joy, Saint General de Majuba, Tekakari, Yabati, Jetawa, Yam, the Jontobadi, that Yamdon, Yamu Cheparati, Imbati, Chepati, Yamu Cheparati, Chepati, Chepan, Dijon, that is, Jamban and Chepati, Purni, Serapun, Rami, Roti, that is Chepati, Proalatini, Jamban Bani, Champion, in the theory to get Serap, Serap, Tukado, Drama, Naranganingo, Usuruchi, Yuruchi, that is, you're not dungeon on the Nipa Chepapu, you know.
So this nature of the mind is like a jewel. It is like the stainless, the jewel of the stainless Buddha essence. When we are able to see when we have the particular realization of the nature of all phenomena as it is, then this is like a jewel. It is like a wish-fulfilling jewel that can grant all we want. By seeing the nature of all that we want, by seeing the nature of all phenomena, it is like the stainless jewel. And so this stainless jewel is beyond compare. All the riches of the billion-fold universe cannot compare to it. If we compare all the riches of the billion-fold universe and the nature of the mind, it is the nature of the mind that is far superior. The riches of the riches of the billion-fold universe cannot rival it in any way. It has the great potential, and we realize it because of the kindness of the gurus. And so for that reason, we need to meditate upon it without any faults in our meditation. We need to have faultless meditation on it. And if we have faultless, we need to meditate on it well without any faults. And so through this offering of nurturing the spontaneous nature untainted by the stains of assumption and attributes, nurturing the spontaneous nature means that we are meditating on it well without faults, and we are untainted by the stains of assumption and attributes. Sometimes what this means is that we should not have a mentally contrived meditation. We should meditate on the nature of the mind directly as it is without altering it. Sometimes there are people who meditate on the Heart Sutra, and in meditating upon this, they get a little bit afraid. The reason they get afraid is they have a contrived meditation. They think, oh, it should be emptiness. I need to meditate on emptiness. They think they're meditating on something that's not empty as being emptiness. And therefore, it's a mentally contrived meditation. And so this is meditating with the stains of assumption and attributes. It's a contrived meditation. Instead, the meditation should be nurturing the spontaneous nature. That means we just need to look at the nature of the mind as it is without altering it. Just rest within the emptiness and just nurture this. And this is the superior experience of meditation. And so he is giving this as an offering, and the one he's giving this to an offering to are the two Jamgon Rinpoches. May you remain throughout all my lives as one taste inseparable in the center of my heart. And so from lifetime after lifetime, may they remain inseparably in his heart as one taste, inseparable in flavor. And so this is the second of the seven branches, the branch of offerings. And so that is enough for this morning's session. And if there is anyone who would like to ask a question, I thought I'd leave some time for a couple people to give questions. Does anyone have a question? Okay, then we'll just leave it here.